Hello and welcome to the video. This is a product that I've actually had for a little while. Had it for a couple of months now and been testing it, so I think I've had enough time under my belt to do some kind of review. Now I've started to do more videos out and about, and the reaction that I get to the ones that I tend to do in the field when we're doing maidens of planes and quadcopters is very good indeed. And one of the things that I've been after is a way to mount the camera on some kind of gimbal so that I can not only take images of the field, of the models and the people around, but also do pieces to camera as well, and for it to look a lot better and stabilized. Now lots of the modern cameras these days and the Canon cameras that I tend to use have some kind of image stabilization in them, but it isn't enough to get rid of all the wobbles that you're going to get when you're walking over uneven ground or having to concentrate on keeping your balance as you walk somewhere. So in this video, what I'd like to do is show you the product, go through it, show you some of the tips and tricks, and also some of the drawbacks as well. Now this is available from places like Banggood, costs about $270. It's a splash proof thing, it has 3 axes, it is battery powered, a 5000 milliamp hour battery that you snap into the bottom, chargeable via a supplied USB cable. Panning angle of 360 degrees, tilt angle 260, rolling angle of 320 degrees. You can set the camera position manually using your hands, or there's little controls on the joystick part that you hold, part of the gimbal, to also move things about as well. It is firmware upgradable, has a little OLED display so you can keep an eye on what's going on, and the weight is about 663 grams. Battery fully charged, it reckons lasts you about 9 hours. So let me just show you how this thing comes. It actually comes in its own carrying case, which is beautiful. It has a quick start guide, but I would recommend getting hold and downloading the manual from the website because it has a lot more information. So inside the case that this thing came in, we'll have a look at that again in a minute. I'll show you in more detail. There are a couple of extra boxes. One of them held the battery, which is inside. You have this box here, which has the USB cable, also has the GoPro screw for if you're going to use the GoPro mount, and at the bottom here we have the piece that allows you to connect the GoPro or some kind of action camera that has that same kind of connection method onto the gimbal as well as a spare. You actually get 2 of these, the little kind of 1/4 inch screw that you need to hold everything in place. That also works with the camera too. In the other box, this contains the holder if you're going to use it with a phone. So this is just a spring-loaded thing. If I just grab my phone here, just stick it in, there we go. So you can see there that that holds it pretty well. And again, it's got the 1/4 inch adapter at the bottom. But if I actually show you the main event, let me get this out the way. I do like the fact it's got a carrying case to keep it nice and safe. This is what the actual device looks like. So you've got something that looks like a lightsaber at the bottom that has all of the controls on it, and then you have the gimbal itself. Now the little piece here, the shoe, can be connected into the bottom of the camera, and then that just slides into position on the 3-axis gimbal. The trick with this is that you do have to spend a bit of time balancing it. All of the knurled parts on the 3-axis at the top of the gimbal can be undone, and that allows you to slide it around. It does go through it in quite a bit of detail in the manual, but you should have it so that when it's all balanced and the camera is turned on with the lens extended, it's kind of naturally balanced, almost acting like a gimbal as well, because you want these little motors in the gimbal to just be used for correcting any movement of the camera rather than trying to keep it in position. So here we are with the camera on. So that's how it looks. So what we need to do is kind of fire up the gimbal. Hopefully you can see here it almost balances, and it kind of acts as its own gimbal. The reason that the camera's lying backwards is because it's balanced for when the lens is out. So even without the gimbal turned on, you know it's balanced when it kind of feels like that, and it takes a little bit of time to get it spot on, but it's absolutely worthwhile doing. To power up the gimbal itself, you just press and hold the power button, and then once it's powered up, you are away. So let me just grab my little hat that has the GoPro session on it, and let's go for a little walk, and I'll show you how this actually works. There's an awful lot of controls on here. By default, most of them don't do anything because they're designed really to work with the app that you can download and put on your smartphone, and it really relies on the app that's on your smartphone to communicate between the gimbal here and the camera to control things like zoom, shutter, and those other pieces as well. So let me just go for a little walk and show you how this looks. So here we are walking over the bridge that we normally do, and I'm just going to walk along and insert the footage so you can see how well the stabilization is working. And the answer is the stabilization actually works really, really nicely. As a gimbal, it works really well. There are several different modes on this. There's the standard kind of panning mode, which as you move from side to side, you can see the gimbal will kind of slow down the movement and make it far more smooth, as well as keep the camera steady. Or you can press the single button, it goes into lock mode, and it will stay pointing in the direction that you've got it in. So even as you move the gimbal around, the camera will remain locked in the direction that you're after. But the gimbal is performing really well. The only thing is a little bit heavy. The gimbal without the camera on it, if I weigh it here, it's about 666 grams. With a larger camera on the gimbal as well, it does start to get very heavy. So you'll tend to find that trying to hold it out at arm's length to get kind of the selfies that I actually wanted will make your arm very tired very quickly. Although it's quite a good workout for your biceps. I do find myself changing hands more often with something like this just because of the weight. And there are a couple of extra things that I would say if you're thinking about getting one of these. You will need to spend a bit of time setting up the balance with the camera. The disappointing thing is the way it works with mine is the physical position of all the connections to make it balance with the camera that I use it the most, unfortunately isn't one that it'll fold down and fit into the case. So every time I take it out, I have to reset that up, which is a little bit time consuming. The other thing that I'm not a fan of is the fact that unless you have it paired with the application on the phone and the phone is then paired with the camera, a lot of the controls for controlling the camera itself, shutter, zoom, and those kind of things don't work. And I have not been a big fan of the application, particularly because when you try and start the application, it asks for a ridiculous amount of permissions. And I personally am always very wary of lots of applications that want to know all of my personal data when all it really needs to access are my photos, videos, and communication. And the only other thing to note as well is that with some cameras, the way that the setup is at the top so that it all balances means that you can't swing it round. And it would have been nicer if the screen itself was being used in a more productive way. It's just kind of a summary set of icons on there, and the main control button, you have to press it 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 times to get it into the different modes. I think it would have been more sensible to have some kind of little joystick as well that you could set that up and maybe assign favorites to particular buttons. I find that doing the selfie mode, you press it 3 times, it swings round to look at your face, works nicely, but then it's not as easy as pressing it 3 times again to swing it back round to the default position. So in summary, if you're looking for a gimbal, then this is worth looking at, but be aware that to use it properly, you are going to need that application, and you are going to have to hit the gym if you're going to wander around with it for more than 10 minutes at a time. But this does mean now that when I go to the field, we should be able to capture some more interesting footage as well as just using the GoPro HatCam. Thanks for watching the video and watching right to the very end. You can find me in all the usual places on social media, and if you like the video and like what I'm doing here, then hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification icon too. If you really like what I'm doing, you can go the extra mile and become one of my Patreons for access to me directly for support, and also giveaways and regular updates too. If you're looking for particular content, then check out the playlist. I organise all of my videos into playlists, so if you're looking for a particular topic, you can find everything here. If it's called Introduction To, it's designed to start very simply and build on that simple introduction to teach you all about it. If it's called For Beginners, then that is really aimed at people who are brand new to that part of the hobby. You can also search on YouTube for anything that you're interested in using the search function at the top. So iNav Painless 360 will find all of my videos and even the playlist around iNav. So thanks again for watching, and happy flying.